Hey, how you going? My name's Jonathan, or Jono, and this is my boat, Catalina 1977. Current name is Cold Steel. Thinking about changing that a little bit later to maybe Nakuru, so it's a South African name. Queensland's got amazing rain and weather right now. Don't be fooled, the sunshine will disappear and it'll be absolutely torrential. So this is why we've got a few covers on at the moment, and also across the top. Doesn't look great, but you'll notice my neighbour's done the same, and it'll be really wet from time to time. Current project I'm working on is actually replacing all of the windows, so you'll see a bit of sealant, bit of tape around the things just to keep the water out. That's a big job. Finding a window, literally a window to do the windows, can be complicated, so you need a couple of days to make sure that happens. But that's why we've got all the tarps on right now. Clears is the next big job. I just had those quoted up to change over. That's going to cost about $1,000. So one thing I'd recommend for anybody looking at getting into sailing, learn upholstery. Definitely save you some money, and people around will appreciate it. Favorite part of the boat to hang out in, the cockpit. So this is my hammock here. So sometimes it's a bit hot inside. I'll literally jump in here, and that's my bed for the night. It's fantastic. I've got my mates at the pub, so I don't even need to go over. So I'll just crack out a tinny or two and we'll hang out with them. Barbecue, outboard, a few other bits and pieces on the back there. Got my solar panel, weather station. So over here, barbecue, stainless steel barbecue. Haven't been using that too much, but as it warms up a little bit, we'll be out here cooking. If we catch some fish. Outboard, just for the dinghy. I'm actually looking at going totally electric because some of the products on the market now are really good. Like trying to move away from, carrying petrol on board can be flammable, can be a bit dirty. You want to avoid spills in the marina, that sort of thing, and just adding to the sustainability side of things. That's my bitumen weather station. That's actually coming off. You can see it's a little bit rusted, so we'll change that over. We've got the air turbine on the side here, and one of a couple of solar panels, which that one's a little bit old, but still pumps out about 100 watts. And there's one above you here, which is a 400 watt panel. I don't believe what they put on the sticker for those ones, so I call it probably a 200 watt, but between the two, 300's more than enough for my setup to keep me going. So most times I literally just chill out here, sometimes just work on the table, get a bit of a breeze, and happy days. I'll take you inside if you like. I live on a boat because, as you can see around me, I'm surrounded by $1 million apartments, which no one can afford to buy a house at the moment. I don't care how old you are. I own my boat. It's mine. I don't have to contend with any neighbours or above me or below me. Everybody here is pretty chilled, and it's a low sustainable way of living, which I've really started to develop over the last couple of years. And yeah, it's quite simple, which is good. I like it. I think the idea really stemmed from, like I was saying earlier, what got me to want to live on a boat was through sailing and extended sailing with people from other cultures, especially the Danes who I was talking about earlier. It's not just the sailing, but it's also living together in a small confined space. You imagine you have 10 people, 37, 40, 45 foot boat. You don't have much square meterage to live by, so you need to really take into consideration how you interact, how you act, how you sustainably live together as a group. And I thought some of these principles are really cool, where we're being upfront and honest with each other about how we live and how we interact. And I thought, I actually want to carry that forward with not just being on a boat, but throughout my life. You're 100% in the presence because you're forced to deal with things right now in front of you. I can't just go put some stuff in the garage because it's annoying me and I want to deal with it later. I have to work out, does this serve a purpose? Is this something I'm going to use? Is this bringing value into my life then and there? Like, I can hide a few things around, but there isn't that much space or opportunity to do it. So for me, it was actually, I want to shift my mindset, and I can physically do that by moving onto a boat and just, live a much more meaningful life with less and get meaning out of the things I do have. It's really chill. Like you got the whole hinterland, the Glasshouse Mountains. You got the lifestyle here is a lot more slowed down, having lived in like larger cities, Melbourne, and traveled a lot around the world, as well with work and family and just seeing how people live. Just grew a bit of an affinity with the place, and I thought this is pretty good. to be honest, it's easier to maintain. I'm not mowing lawns every Saturday or Sunday after working a crazy job. So I work a pretty intense corporate consulting job as it is. The last thing I actually want to do is when I come home or, switch off, is then think of a whole other list of things I need to do. I do need to do a lot of work on the boat, and there are a lot more. I don't, have dishwashers or all those modern conveniences, but I actually find pleasure and enjoyment out of sitting there washing the dishes on the side of the marina. For me, that's like chill time. That's mindfulness. That's my kind of meditation. So one of my favorite spots when it's raining and you'll see the storms come in, I'll literally just hang out here with the companionway open. I'm just down here in my quarter berth or just here, just chilling out. I love the spray in my face and the lightning and everything just going around. So this is one of my chill out spots. I'll just hang out here. It's quite a wide companionway for a lot of boats. So I think that's what I quite like about Catalina's. It brings in a lot of natural light. This is the galley. Pretty straightforward. Gas cooker, sinks, usual storage. To be honest, I don't actually use this setup too much. I'll just have a basic kind of one pot meal, chuck a steamer on top, so protein, and then some veggies, have all my food back there. A lot of grains and like lentils, nuts. Love my cacao. That's powdered milk. Don't drink too much dairy, but if I do, I'll use that. This stuff will just keep for a long time. Trying to move away from plastics and just, be a bit more sustainable. This is the living room. We're going for as many colours as you can kind of imagine at once. So with a lot of these older boats, so you're talking 20, 30 years of cushions and materials, and I started by reupholstering things and just looking at it, but when I just kept peeling the layers away, they're not in great condition. So literally a few weeks ago, I've just threw everything out and just starting from scratch. So the intent is I'll kind of do something similar with this side and just get some neutral greys and get it a little bit more cozy in here. But for now, this works for me. So my key luxury item, TV, Google TV. Occasionally chuck on a bit of a Netflix show and just chill out. Another berth here, so you could probably get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 comfortably hanging out in here. If you want to push it, you get 8, couple in the cockpit. To be honest, if I'm up in the subtropics or tropics, I'd prefer to just sleep outside. So it's a little bit, as you can feel, it's a little bit warm in here right now, but you do adapt to the humidity. Airflow's probably a key thing. This is a typical nav station, and this would be used for your chart plotting and working out your navigation, and just when you're at sea. Behind here is actually radar. I'll show you. So I'm not too sure if you can see it from here, but just above the weather station is a radar setup. So if we are around shipping channels or something else, you'll be able to see what's going on. So this is really good. You don't see this on many kind of inshore vessels, more offshore, where you're going to be doing a lot of overnight passages and everything else. This is my workstation. I don't have my laptop at the moment, it's in the car, but I'll usually hang out here for a bit and just work, chuck on my headset, attend meetings when I'm not in the cockpit. So that works for me, that's fine. Have my mouse going on. So I've got a bit of a challenge at the moment with the head, the sanitary system. So I don't have a functioning toilet. There's issues with the holding tanks. I'm the plumber, I'm the electrician, I'm the guy who has to pump out all the black water. So in the process of getting that fixed. So there are those challenges, right? So every utility I need to be across and make it work. So right now I can't access the front berth and have like the most amazing, a better sleep. I have to sleep in the quarter berth where I've got about 12 inches above my head because I'm dealing with the situation in the bathroom. Other challenges, we do get some weather in this part of the world. So as you can see, the companionway is open most of the time. You really need airflow in boats, otherwise you start getting mold, mildew. I'm a big believer in air conditioning is not that great for you. I did try it on the boat, just didn't work. Everything gets damp. So you got environmental challenges, but you're living with the environment. You're not trying to push it away by building walls and air conditioning and everything else to just make it cocoon. You're actually adapting to your surroundings. So that's the master bedroom at the moment. I sleep fine in there, so that's a brand new mattress just picked up when I got the boat. Like nice, thick, comfy. Like I said, I keep all this open to get airflow. it's so hot here anyway. I don't actually have a cover. What I do use, and this is all I use sailing around Indonesia, is just get this from like Anaconda, Cedar Summit, just a cover if you need it. But to be honest, I just usually go to sleep, no problems, bit of rocking and rolling, and I get a good 7 hours in. So right now you can see that I've got this yellow cord here is running 240 volt coming into the boat. So if I'm not on 240, and this system runs all the time anyway, so the solar panel comes into the regulator on the right, so I just replaced that not too long ago. The old thing on it didn't have the right gauge wires and an amperage. You can see that's about 14 volts, so that runs a couple of batteries just in the saloon area near you, and that runs all the systems when the 240 volt isn't running. So I just keep that on all the time, predominantly for the bilge pump. So you always want to make sure you've got, at least one, maybe a backup bilge operating at all times. So if I'm not here, I know that a float switch will get tripped and, water, which is egress to the boat, will get pumped out. And that also runs all my nav lights, pumps, etc. So I can turn off the 240 volt and just have the battery system running everything else. What I've learned about myself is you can keep moving the needle in terms of where your threshold is to deal with stress, deal with anxiety, deal with stuff. And I've found I've become a little bit more resilient with just day-to-day things. They don't bother me as much anymore. Whereas a couple of years ago, I might get a bit stressed over something mundane or something happening at the office. And I just think now, I'm like, well, I don't know, I've sailed like Indian Ocean, around Indonesia, I've done all this, had to deal with so many other real problems. So this spreadsheet going crazy at work, it's going to be okay. So yeah, that's what I've learned. Like, things are going to be okay. Underneath that blue mat is actually the black water holding tanks for the head or the bathroom. All boats in the US require a holding tank for the sanitary system. Everything actually has to go through the holding tank first before being pumped overboard. Whereas in Australia, that regulation isn't required. What that means, though, is these systems can be a little bit more complex. If the breathers start blocking, which is the case with this boat, and other things start failing, you're just dealing with more systems. Having having holding tanks on your boat where you can't actually pump stuff out is quite interesting. I remember the first day I came here and I was like, I've got to pump out these holding tanks. And there's a port just on the port side, which says holding tank there. And I actually got the guy from the marina with the machine to come pump it out. And just as he's pumping it out, I was like, I'm just going to check, make sure that the breather's okay and everything else. And it was at that point I found out that the whole thing had actually been disconnected. So he would have just been sucking air. There was no connection to the holding tanks whatsoever. So that led me down the path of, all right, I need to replace the holding tanks. I need to replace the Sani hoses and everything else. And I just kind of thought, well, do I even need this system? So the plan at the moment is, and I'm just working through it, I'm taking everything out. I'll just put in, you get some pretty decent porta potty setups now. And look, to be honest, go to the gym, go to the marina, Dunnies if you need a number 2 or something, but taking that out. But I'll have on numerous times got in there myself and pumped with some manual pumps to sort everything out. So, but again, it just goes to, I want to keep things simple. I want simple systems. I don't want to be out there on the sea with dealing with the things I don't have to. You're going to get a little bit of water in most boats, but I wouldn't be too concerned with that. So once the water gets to a certain level, trips that switch there, it's going to pump the bilge. I just replaced that about a month ago. That's for the manual bilge, so if everything goes to custard, you just go out there in the cockpit and just pump like mad. It's probably more efficient than a lot of these little ones sometimes. But no, I'm pretty happy with that. There's still a bit of gunk coming through from where the diesel tanks and engines are, but over time we'll get that all sorted out. So 30 horsepower, Volvo Penta. It's due for a bit of a service, especially the water pump just on this side here. There's a bit of oxidation as well, but this has got about less than 100 hours on it, so not too much. Just do it. Look, there's heaps of opportunities. I find it interesting looking at forums and what advice can be presented to people there, especially generational advice such as, start small then go big. My advice would be take risk-based decisions. So I think, is this something you're capable of doing? You might have to stretch yourself. You might have to go outside of your comfort zone. don't do anything dangerous, put yourself or others in harm. Taking as much advice as you can, like open your aperture to whether it's training, jumping on boats, or doing anything else. People are going to tell you to go down a specific way, and that's coming from their truth, which is fine, and that's what people do. But I would synthesize all of that and make your own mind up, and then own that decision, because you're responsible at the end of the day for that decision. So you can't turn around and go, that person said this is the path I should go, and I haven't achieved that. So just pick something, own it, and you'll be okay. Yeah. Living on a sailboat can be in isolation, but it doesn't have to be. So I'd always encourage people, and I do this myself when I think about, am I a bit lonely or anything else? There's a huge community out there, and whether it's go say good day to your neighbours, like jump on, just join heaps of forums and connect with people, because you never know where those connections might end up. It's going to be okay. Just go with the flow. Try not to live too much in the future, because that can be a dangerous thing, because you just miss out on all the little things. And sometimes if it's all too difficult, just stop, take a moment, just chill out, look at something. Yeah, definitely follow me on Insta, Jono Parks. So JOHN space OH, Jono. You'll see me come up on my boat, black and white photo. Love to connect, and happy to say good day anytime.
Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please share it with a friend. Also, if you want to watch more alternative dwellings, we've got a playlist popping up right here, and we release new episodes every single Sunday, so consider subscribing.